Alright, YouTube, if you paid attention to Wikileaks, of course, there's one email in there. Actually, technically there's two, but I'm going to fixate on one of them. There's an email here. Let me actually pull it up for the benefit of reading the part that's actually of interest, because it's only part of the email. Push that off to the side. What apparently happened is that as part of the sort of State Department pay-to-play scheme, a lawyer who worked for Obama for America before, Jacqueline Lopez, who now works for a different company, Perkins Coie, I believe it's pronounced, was emailing several people from the DNC, and actually explicitly these sort of contracts were referred to as pay-to-play in the most literal term. That is, this specific email uses that very title for it. Now let me scroll down through because it's quite interesting to see what she has to say. Hi all, can we set up a time for a very brief call to go over our process for handling donations from donors who have given us pay-to-play letters? Want to make sure we have a robust process in place to make sure that donations that come in from these donors in any form get put into the operating account. Let me know when would be a good time for you all. And that's from Lopez herself, a lawyer, listed here as an associate to several people from the DNC, Alan Reed, and also, I can't remember, Brad Marshall. So there's a link in the description to where you can read that. This kind of blows out of the water Clinton's own claims regarding these donations, because of course pay-to-play is the term used by those who oppose Clinton, by those who would seek to prosecute her or involve themselves with claiming that she's done something wrong, if not illegal, at least immoral. Let's not kid ourselves and think that this is just limited to Clinton's foundation or Clinton's State Department. But to have it so open because of these leaks, and to have such an ineptitude on her part, I guess, really to allow this material to be so poorly protected in the first place. Not just confidential or even top secret materials in a government capacity that she's working with, but actually her own correspondence, or the correspondence of the DNC, the correspondence of staffers and aides and allies of hers with their, I guess, legal counsel or somebody who's involved in this process. It's really rather funny. There's a second link to Lopez's LinkedIn profile, where she's listed as having worked for the State Department, for Obama for America, and several law firms as well. A graduate of Harvard, so obviously not necessarily the most moral individual. There's a little bit of a difference between like a public defendant who studied law and now attempts to protect people from tyranny in many cases, and somebody who's like a corporate lawyer or a political lawyer. They have to be scum, really, in order to do such a job. It would be very difficult for them not to be. So, unfortunately, it looks like pay-to-play not only is just a claim used by the enemies of Hillary Clinton, but is explicitly alluded to by people working directly on her behalf in the form of collecting donations through these sorts of endeavors that she has. It's illuminating a bit. It's rather enlightening to understand that this is going on, because normally we would expect if someone's corrupt, they're at least good enough to cover their tracks, and the Clintons, of course, have a penchant for doing that, but this time it looks like there was very little attempt to actually do so. Which is why I think so many DNC staffers are winding up dead. I think that there were probably multiple people working together to leak this material. Either people who had infiltrated the DNC in order to keep tabs on this sort of stuff for this specific reason, to shut down corrupt campaigns in some manner or another, or people who originally did support the movement realized that it was essentially just a front for making lots of money, were kind of disillusioned and then proceeded to sort of crack these things wide open. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. In other words, I still don't expect that there is a better than 50-50 chance that any of these individual scandals takes Hillary down. Public perception still is at the forefront as far as, yeah, she's dishonest, she's corrupt, she lies a lot. That's still at the political forefront, as opposed to, oh, she's going to be in a jail cell, she's going to get indicted or something like that and be under a direct investigation. There are investigations ongoing into the Clinton Foundation, into the State Department emails, and into Clinton herself in these capacities. But do I expect them, even with headhunting New York attorney Preet Bharara, working on the case, even though he's gone after people connected with de Blasio, who's almost a literal communist. He's he's further to the left than Bernie Sanders, by the way. Makes Bloomberg look like an extreme Tea Partier. He has headhunted after people like that before, but will he be able to crack the Clinton cases? Time, I guess, will tell. I still say that the biggest possibility of her campaign being sunk comes primarily from public perception and the debates, as well as perhaps continued leaks that I envision will probably over time be more damaging than those that have already come out. Let's not be under the illusion that it's likely that Clinton, in the meantime, in the next few weeks or months, is going to suffer any significant repercussions, except that she's likely to get completely blasted at the debates. That's about all. Peace out.